Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week. I am Katie Patrick, joined by David Fiorazzo, and we're kicking it off.
Yes.
It's another new week.
Happy October, too.
Oh, yeah. We turned a whole new calendar.
Yep. Flip that page.
Lots of things going on. But what is going on Worldview Matters?
Mr. Alex Newman was my guest this morning. Today, you can look that up, worldviewmatters.tv. And we talked about a lot of issues going on globally and locally and with our government. Also, tomorrow, we'll be hearing from a former pastor, Seiko Woods, troublemaker in Texas, and Carl Kirby on Wednesday, Reasons for Hope. We're going to be speaking at a conference in Green Bay coming up October 14 called Men of Iron. Men of Iron Conference, Green Bay. That's a Saturday. And Dr. Duke Pesta will be on Worldview Matters Thursday. We talk about the dangers of DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or die. There's the place to subscribe, worldviewmatters.tv.
Oof, lots of goodness.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Great guests. I love
goodness gracious greatness.
Yeah.
All the things.
Goodness.
All right. Well, hey, speaking of goodness, greatness, graciousness, all of the G words, we are just a few weeks away, couple weeks away from launching Educated Live, starting Monday, October 16th. We will be streaming this show right here, Educated Live at noon. That's 12 p.m. for all of y'all peoples.
I'm a little nervous.
Central time, though. Make sure wherever you live, it's noon Central time.
Noon CST.
So we're going to be live streaming on Facebook and Rumble. And in addition to covering our new stories that we cover every week, we also want to interact with you. So your homework is to bring your questions and your comments to the chat, and then we will discuss them throughout the program.
Is any question off limits?
Every question is off limits.
No
we
question.
will see. Tune in.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Live. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
So this first story, let me just quote the dad. Eric Sack is his name. He said, "You just can't give my daughter pills in a Ziploc baggie and send them home."
What?
So,
what are you talking about, David?
Okay, he's up in Maine. His daughter goes to high school there, and the clinic sent his 17-year-old daughter home with a secret baggie of Zoloft, and they sicked Child Protective Services, CPS, on him for complaining. So this is really astounding to me because you're thinking, all right, first of all, why would they send these home in a baggie that, look at that. Does that orange thing, does that say biohazard?
Of course it does.
What? Can you explain that, kid? I just want to ask you, what the heck?
Well,
these are supposed to be safe for kids to take?
Yeah, well, I mean,
students?
Here's the deal. David, we know that the public school system is down and out on the monies, right? They always need more money. We never have enough money.
Right.
So what they're doing now is making these Ziploc bags. I don't know if it's Ziploc official. I don't know if they're sponsoring.
Okay, all right.
But they're making these
trademarked.
nice, giant, clear bags for your drugs that they're going to give you, but also your peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay.
Although you can't use peanut butter anymore because peanuts are an allergen. So,
Okay. But they are reusable baggies.
I'd say it's for your turkey sandwich, but you can't do that either because all the vegans would not be happy about it, and the people who need to be gluten-free. So maybe just all of your drugs will go in it.
So the point here that hopefully you don't miss this point. A 17-year-old gets sent home with, drugs, Zoloft, but it was without the parents' knowledge or consent. This is not an isolated case, as Katie and I report on this often. It happens around the country where parents are somehow in the dark when it comes to this stuff. Schools are doing stuff. So when the girl's father, his name is Eric, he discovered this baggie, apparently, that weekend, and his daughter told him that it was provided to her by the Bulldog Health Center. That's a school-based health center at Lawrence High School in the state of Maine. So he saw the pills as an infringement on his parental rights, but he was also concerned that the clinic sent unlabeled drugs with no child-resistant container into his home where two other younger children also live. Now that is, Katie Petrick, is a legitimate complaint. Mm-hmm. So she didn't take them. at school. She brought them home, and who knows where she put them, but he found them. So obviously she didn't try to hide this because she got them from the school.
Well,
can't you trust them with what they
and that's what you would say. But at the same time, after Dad called Lawrence High School Principal Dan Bowers to complain about said incident here of like, hey, why are you sending my teenage daughter home with a little baggie of pills that we have younger siblings in the house, and that's not even the actual main problem. The fact is, why are you sending my daughter home with a baggie full of pills
right
without telling me about it? And it's because the SBHC was a separate entity from the school and not under his control. So the principal then is like, oh, sorry, not my problem, because that health clinic, it's not under my jurisdiction.
Isn't that in the school, though?
It's in the school, but it's not. I have no authority. It's a separate entity. But this is exactly what has been in the plans for years. And under the Obama administration, they blatantly stated it. We need to turn our schools into little health centers. They want the children to be able to go, not have to leave, as they say, well, you don't even have to leave school. That way, you know, less interference of the academic rigor that they will, they would miss if they had to leave campus to go with their parents to a legitimate doctor somewhere else that the parent found, not the school found. So instead, they're like, we need to put these health clinics on campus so that children can attend. And that's what they're doing. And then they're making it so the parents don't find out what's actually happening.
Wow. Okay, worse, the final twist in this.
There's another twist.
Is that Thursday, that week, an agent from CPS, Child Protective Services, called him and informed the dad that that the guy would be arriving at his home shortly to make a surprise visit to conduct a child welfare investigation. So, quote, they called and said it was an emergency situation at my house and that I was pretty near holding my daughter hostage, is what the gentleman came yesterday and told me. He had information that only the school and Bulldog Health Center had. For 3 hours, Katie, for 3 hours, CPS agent Dylan Wood grilled this dad and his family individually and as a group, including asking questions about the dad's firearms and where he keeps them. What does this have to do with sending your kid home with drugs, the school, and the parents not knowing anything about it? This is really, I was going to say bizarre, but that's not right. This is corrupt. This is evil.
Orwellian.
Them going after parents. Yeah, Orwellian.
It's beyond all of those things. If you, mom and dad, haven't noticed yet, if you question anything that is happening at the school because you are the parent of the child or children who go to said school, you will be on the hook for whatever the school and the health center and the government deem that they don't want you to be looking into. And so this dad had the, I guess, gall to complain.
The audacity.
How
dare you?
How dare you, sir? To complain, question, even raise an eyebrow at what the school, or in this case, the health center, was doing. And so sick the government on the dad.
So before we wrap this up, the Bulldog Health Center, like others, receives funding from the Federal Health Resources and Services Administration, HRSA, under the Health Center program. So it's a sub-agency of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and there's the tie to the feds.
Yep.
Still to come. The smut train continues to roll through public schools as 12-year-olds in Virginia were given a new reading list, which obviously, and as what we're going to find out, contains books consisting of violent and sexually explicit content that push Black Lives Matter. We're talking about that next.
Well, the reading lists are out and about here at the beginning of the school year. We're rolling in. We're a month into school now. Children received their reading list. What am I going to read this year, David?
Let's see.
Well, as you can imagine, they are atrocious.
Is it Shakespeare?
Who?
Classics?
Shakespeare?
No,
that guy, old dead white guy. He's racist. He's all the things. So
Mark Twain?
Also old white dead guy. Racist. All right, at Cooper Middle School in McLean, Virginia, the 7th graders were given their reading list of books to choose from for the year. And you can just as always, if you've been around here, you can just guess what the list includes. We'll go over some of them, but you can look at them for yourself right now, which is fine. I'm going to tell you, though, what is some of them on there. Students in the English class were assigned a wide variety of books. Diversity. We're all about diversity.
A variety, right.
But it's diversity on specific topics. It spanned from illegal immigration to Black Lives Matter. And as you saw that list very quickly, if you were able to glean any of them, you saw some of them. Yes.
There it is.
Although the reading list does clarify that students will not have to read every single book, one teacher at the middle school said that students would have to choose books to read from the provided options unless a parent offered an alternate school-approved book in orientation video when showed them having, saying all this. So
the parents have to offer a...
Yes. So basically you are at that point homeschooling your child, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying why send them to school in the first place?
When a parent tries to do that, though, don't they call it book banning or censorship or something?
And all of that. And CPS will probably get called, just like in the last story. Yes.
Jeez.
So we have a parent named Jane. And for good reason, Jane doesn't want to be identified because she's worried about backlash against her children. Shocker. Now, Jane is an immigrant from China who, again, didn't want her kid to be bullied by having her name be said. So she said, the first time I got this syllabus was after the open house. I didn't think much of it at the time because I thought it was about teaching English. Oh, poor Jane. Sorry, Jane. She says, but when I saw the second page, there were some words that looked completely unrelated. Now, the list that was given specifies 8 core concepts that the students will study by reading, again, a variety of books. And it's they say it's over the course of the year. They're going to read these to challenge them. And so here are some of the things: identity, community, the unknown, loyalty, justice, ethics, perspective, and change. Now, I feel like change and the unknown in today's, and identity, and pretty much perspective. And I guess then in their own little community, and they are loyal.
Well, ethics.
No, ethics gets thrown out.
Ethics
is not. They all kind of go together in the topics that we talk about every single day. So I guess students did receive slightly different book assignments depending on if they were in the honors level course or the regular English. Are you allowed to even say that anymore? But both lists did contain controversial books with explicit sexual or violent content. As Jane said, my parents, again, she is from China. She said, my parents were little during the Communist Revolution. Every textbook was about indoctrination, whether about physics, math, or Chinese language. There was politics everywhere. Now it looks like this English class has become indoctrination. Jane's words, not mine. Jane, who is from China.
So she gets it.
She gets it. She's recognizing what's happening.
The school responded, and they pointed.
Of course the school responded.
Yeah, they pointed to their policy that requires teachers to inform parents at least 30 days in advance if their students, are you kidding me? If they even use that word these days. If their students will be reading a sexually explicit book in class. Katie, I think we have radically different definitions of what is sexually explicit.
Yes.
Because the lefties and the teachers' unions and the Department of Education does not think much at all is sexually. It's just normal, they say.
Yeah, you decide for yourself, because a lot of these books are, Black Lives Matter related, or just, LGBTQ pride stuff. You have The Hate U Give, Dear Martin, All American Boys, Ghost Boys, Just Mercy, New Kid, Good Kind of Trouble, LGBTQ stuff. You have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. They both die at the end. Wow. That sounds like I want to read that book. They both die at the end.
So you're looking at the covers here. At first glance, they look somewhat benign. Somewhat. If you don't open up the books or read, the description, what they're about. So parents, this is the book list that parents can look at and decide whether their kids want to read this in their schools. Yep,
they're going to have to read some of them. Or you're going to have to actually, mom and dad, do your due diligence and go through every book and look it up and find out what is this book actually about. And then
it's a shame.
Check off, nope, not that one, not that one.
I was going to say you shouldn't have to do that as a parent, but it's your responsibility.
Yep.
As a parent. And these days more than ever, you know what the left is all about. You know what they're trying to do. They're grooming, and they're trying to start at young ages. So you have to do your due diligence.
Yeah. So in doing your due diligence, parents, some of you are, because nearly half of parents turning to homeschooling today say that they are concerned about their children being influenced by liberal viewpoints. I call it indoctrination. Anyway,
Yeah.
But wait until you hear some of the other reasons why millions of families have opted out of public schools. Stay with us.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
So if you were here a hot second ago, that last story was one good reason to vouch for why you should get your kids out of the public school system.
Homeschool.
Now, we do have a poll by Washington Post and George Mason University, which is revealing that the sort of actions, like in the last story, and the liberal viewpoints is what homeschooling parents are saying is the reason that they do what they do. The poll found that when asked why they decided to homeschool, 46% of families replied that they were worried that local public schools are too influenced by liberal viewpoints. And all I have to say is, bingo. Now, we're just going to go back and forth with what the schools have been doing. David.
Well, first, can I just share one thing? It's interesting. The Washington Post, uber liberal, George Mason University, radically left, social justice. They're putting out a lot of, lefties, and so they're doing this poll. So understand, it could be a whole lot more or a little bit worse, or this could be somewhat skewed. But nonetheless, they say, don't forget the jab. Following COVID-19, there's a study that homeschooling rose by 30%. So they're blaming it only on the vaccine and not on what's happening in the public schools and what has been happening for decades. But K through 12 enrollment fell by more than 1.2 million students. That's a big number.
Yes, it's true. Now, we do know that normally faith has been the primary kind of reason. Why do you homeschool your kids?
Biblical worldview.
There you go. But now the poll found that religious reasons for taking kids out of the public schools has actually dropped by 30% since 2012. And obviously, for all of us, that's like, that's not a good thing for society. But there's a but. 68% of parents cite a desire to provide moral instruction. Okay. Whatever we call that, your definition, I guess, as one of the reasons to opt out of public schools. And nearly half of those parents said that they are basing this on religious values. So 34%, well, more than half, so maybe 35% of them are saying they're basing it on religious values. Again, though, what religion?
And then they've got what's interesting, and this could be used for propaganda later. 64%, fears about school shootings, 62%, and bullying, 58%. So you're going, okay, yeah, I know bullying is bad no matter who does it. But I think they've kind of flipped the tables.
Well, and they, like the biggest stat here was the reasoning being concerns on school environments, 74%. So 3 out of 4, basically.
Environment.
What does that all mean? What are your concerns on school environment? That could be a whole plethora of things. Yeah. But the fact that they are discontent regarding the public school academic instruction, 64%. How is that not a screaming statistic? If practically 2 out of 3 parents are like, I am very concerned about what is actually being taught to my child. How are the public schools? What's their response? Well, we need more money. It's just because we need more money.
Yeah, that's why always the solution.
We can provide a better education if you just give me more money.
Jeez. But they've been saying that since the late 70s, early 80s. They've been demanding more money, and that's the solution, according to the teachers' unions.
You do know that all of our founders had the latest and greatest Apple products.
Huh?
Our founders had the latest and greatest Apple products.
They did?
And that is how they were able to be educated in the English language and math and all of the other things that founded this country, is because they had all of the latest and greatest tech gadgets. And they had all their safe spaces built into the school buildings as well. Yes. And the best air conditioning out there.
Yeah.
That's how we became such a great nation. Yep.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
a little fact. All right, well, still to come. What do you think the going rate is for a babysitter who watches 4 children? David, do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. Well, one mom has a list of demands that we must discuss. So stick around if you want to giggle.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
I'm hiring a babysitter.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not, but someday Katie will. But interesting story. There's a mum, M-U-M, that wants a babysitter to look after her 4 kids, but only if they have a master's degree, no tattoos, no piercings, and they can, I guess, live off $6 an hour. So Katie, I think that I have no problem with that list. I mean,
okay, that's not the whole list, David.
It's
that's
not?
although
what else? What
I
else does she
could,
think?
that could be me. I qualify there. You
There it
must be
is.
a great cook and an avid cleaner. Okay, I'm off the list now. Over 25 years old, check. Master's degree, check. And I love that it's minimum education. You must have a master's degree in what, you ask? No social media accounts. I don't need my kids seeing that. No drinking, no smoking, not even vaping.
Uh-oh.
Okay, she needs an
So did she
education.
go too where? Okay, Katie, where did she go too far?
Let's see. The over 25 years old. Babysitters don't need to be over 25 years old. 4 kids. Okay, let's take it back. She's looking for someone for 4 kids who are ages 2, 3, 5, and 7, which means 2 toddlers and 2 school age.
Okay.
She wants them from noon to 6, Monday through Friday, occasional weekends. Now, my question is, are they going to school? Are like the 5 and 7 going to school? Is this for summer? I don't know. But she doesn't want, she wants someone who very much so is not in this time. No tattoos, no piercing, no drinking, no smoking, no vaping, no social media accounts, but you have to be educated with some sort of master's degree.
Yeah.
You need 5 professional references. And obviously, a background check and a drug test will be conducted. That part, I'm not. Yes, and you get $200 for the week. And oh, by the way, you also have to transport yourself, and
run some errands.
Yeah.
Please call Tammy if interested. Seriously, it seems to be a lot. When you said the age of the 4 kids, that made sense. Okay, why do you need a master's degree? I understand, though, from her perspective, this day and age, people need longer to mature. And so if you're going to have a 17 or 18-year-old watch your kids, you're taking a chance, just face it, because they're all about social media. They're all about partying, a lot of them. Not everybody. What do you think,
have a very
Katie?
interesting perspective on
Yeah?
this one, David.
Yeah.
For the amount of money that you're getting, 6 hours Monday, so 30 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
Is it 6 hours Monday through Friday? Okay.
$200 a week?
Yeah. How many? You're going to be wiping several behinds there because that 2 and 3-year-old likely are in the midst of potty training.
So you're saying you don't need a
Or
master's?
are not.
You don't need a master's to wipe behinds.
Oh, you do not. Yeah.
$6 an hour.
Yeah, $6 an hour.
Well, okay. Is this one of those situations where that's all that she could afford? And you're saying, who
I don't
cares?
know.
But you know,
It's middle of the day. Good luck finding someone
Yeah.
who wants a noon to 6 job.
yeah. Well, that's why.
What do you think?
This was such a
What are your thoughts,
debatable-
everybody?
debatable
I'm curious.
topic.
It's an interesting one.
All right.
Good luck, Tammy.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you are not Tammy, or if you are Tammy and you're not following us on Rumble yet, then please go do that.
Rumble.
It won't cost you anything. We won't pay you though either. Tammy apparently will at least pay you $6 an hour. We will not be paying
But
you.
no social media.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good point. No
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
You're not going to be eligible. All right. Well, go to rumble.com/Freedom Project and give the channel a follow if you'd ever be so kind. Now, on that Rumble, you know that Rumble that I was just talking
On
about?
that note.
That Rumble place is also where our Educated Live show will debut on Monday, October 16th. So if you could please join us for all the fun at 12 p.m. Central Time. For David and myself, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting what we do here. Until next time, stay educated.